Okay, if you have YouTube Premium and I'm live and you're not watching commercials, I want to give everyone a minute to go get through commercials. No, Serena. Okay. Does this mean we're live? Because now I see myself on this other screen, although there's a lot of lag. Okay, I think I'm live. I hope I'm live. And the dogs have been good all day, and now they're trying to cause trouble. So I'm going to apologize in advance if they mess the stream up today more than I've already messed it up. So you missed, because I don't think I was live yet, that I had everything set up. I had all my windows going like I wanted them, and was ready to start this little countdown video that I was going to share. And then I ran into all these problems with not being, I had a YouTube server access error message. Maybe just because I haven't been live in so long. I don't know. I had the stream all set up because I think you could go to the page, right, and see the little thumbnail that showed that there would be a stream coming up. Hello, Cindy G. Okay, so someone's here. I must be live. It must be working. And I am well. And aside from the cold, all is well here at RichKatRanch. So I hope you are happy and well also. But I was just sharing that I had everything set up. I had all the little things that I wanted to do today set up and ready to share with you on screen. And lo and behold, ran into the error message issue and just didn't quite have it together. But I guess that's to be expected because I'm using this new streaming software, and it's just been a while. It has been, I don't even know how long since I did a roundup, a Friday roundup. I do want to start doing Friday live streams again. You know, I experimented with some other days and times, and this still for me is the best day and time. It's a given that there are going to be dogs visiting with us every day of the week. And today I have 3 boarders with me. One is just here for daycare today. He's been here several times. Super easygoing Shepsky boy, German Shepherd Husky boy. Where'd he go? Hey, come and say hi to everyone. Here, come up here. Come up here. This is Kobe. Come here, Kobe. Oh, there goes Kobe. There he is. So Kobe's been here several times. And then here's our sweet girl. Junebug. Junebug and her sister Tilly have boarded here for several years, but Tilly passed away. It's probably been 3 or 4 months ago now. She was older, so we knew the day was coming. I know the last couple of times she visited with us, you could see she was really slowing down. She was always a very easygoing girl anyway, but you could see she was really slowing down. So she's not with us anymore, but Junebug gets to come pretty regularly and spend a day or two. So she was dropped off yesterday, and she'll be here until Sunday afternoon or evening. So Kobe's just here for the day. Junebug is here again for 3 nights. And then our regular girl Gucci, I think she's being good somewhere. She's here, but she's like family at this point because she's here a lot. Here she comes. Here she comes. Did you hear your name? Here, let me have that because I don't want you to swallow it. She's got a cat toy. That worries me. Yeah, there's my boy Boone. But you guys are going to have to wait. If you need something, Daddy will help you when he gets home in just a little bit, okay? So, back to business. Oh, you're in Midland. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about the weather here in just a little bit because I am not a fan of cold. I'm not a fan of hot either. I don't know. If you ask me to choose, I don't know that I could choose which one I prefer. You know, in the summer, you can only take off so many clothes to stay comfortable. If you've got to be outside, obviously if you're inside, you can use the air conditioner, but that gets expensive. But in the winter, you can only put on so many clothes, and we've just got astronomical utility bills here because of the extremes that we already know we're going to have every season. Some seasons that happen all 4 seasons seem to happen in the same day. So right now it's frigidly cold. I'll pull that little graphic up. I thought I had a weather graphic. Let me see if I can find that for you. If not, I'll just tell you with my phone what temperature where we are right now. I've been hesitant to even let the ducks and geese out of the pen because the water's been frozen now for 2 or 3 days. So we are at 33 degrees right now with a real feel of 29 degrees. So the water's not frozen. When I went out a little while ago just before the stream to check on the flock, the water was not frozen. They have heated buckets inside the pen, and then I have one bucket that I sometimes will move from inside the pen to outside the pen. But they've figured out now that they can always go into the pen and get water, even when things are frozen. And they're very hardy. I have some older girls that do stay in the pen near the heat lamps. You know, they just are not nearly as healthy as the other ducks. So they stay inside. I stay inside. Excuse me. I had a fire in the fireplace for a couple of days in a row, but that's work. It really is work to keep it going, keep it stoked, and so I've just been bundling up now for the last 24 hours or so. The dogs don't seem to mind the cold, so more power to them. But so I don't have that graphic there to show you, but what I'd like to do so that I can kind of stay with a flow of having things to talk about is I used to use that wheel, the wheel of names, and put, I don't know what I would put on there, different channels I was watching, stuff like that. So I've got that wheel set up, and we're going to just do some wheel spinning. I kind of imagine that some of what will come up on the wheel will automatically take me into other things that we can talk about. So let me, I don't want that. Let me do this. All right, and I'm going to make my thing a little smaller and move it over here. And there's my wheel, so I hope you can see the wheel. If you're Gucci, you're fine, I promise. So isn't that funny, y'all? It's like when my kids were little and I would get on the phone, the kids would be good all day long, and then as soon as I get on the phone, they start acting up. But let's give the wheel a spin and see what topic comes up. All right. Spin the wheel. And then I've got some web page tabs already open. And hopefully this will work. Okay, if I say hide that one, let's try hide that one. And let me look at what Cindy's saying. It was 20 degrees there this morning. It warmed up to 37, 39 will be your high. Yeah, you're not too far from me because I'm in South Lake, and it was maybe 22 degrees when I got up this morning, and it's 33 now. I think we're supposed to max out at like 34, maybe 35 today. So at least we're above freezing. But now let me find my tab for the Dumb and Dumber category, which for me, what I looked up was like dumb criminals. Here we go. Dumb criminals and, just people that did dumb stuff that they got caught for. And so let's see what this first one, and this is from police1.com. Number 1 on their list of Dumb and Dumber category fun for today. Need a ride? Man steals semi full of Corvettes after prison release. Okay, so you already know that's dumb, right? In a plot straight out of an action movie, a 23-year-old man fresh out of prison decided the best way to get home was by hijacking a semi-truck loaded with 10 shiny Chevrolet Corvettes worth over $1.25 million. According to Arizona authorities, the man befriended the driver at a truck stop near Tucson, gained his trust, then forcibly ejected him from the cab before speeding off with the luxury haul. When deputies caught up, the man ignored lights and sirens, driving so recklessly that other vehicles had to pull over. Eventually, he stopped and was arrested on multiple felony charges, including robbery and theft of 11 vehicles, the truck and its precious cargo. Thankfully, the Corvettes were unharmed and safely returned to their rightful owner to finish the journey. All right, so that's our first spin of the wheel. It may not be something I do for the whole stream, every stream, but just to kind of get back in the flow of having something to talk with you about, I thought the wheel might be fun. So we're going to do another spin to see what topic comes up next. Oh, okay, good. So it's not going to remove it from my wheel because I don't want to have to like reinvent this wheel every time I use it. But let's give it another spin then and see what topic comes up. Oh, and I can close that. Actually, I'll save that page for the next time. Okay, so doing, watching, reading. This is going to be just what's up with me. What's been filling my time lately. I already started out telling you guys that we have dogs here virtually every day. I think maybe one or 2 days every other week. We have no dogs here but our own, which we still have 3 dogs, so that's still a house full of dogs. And so I'm definitely used to having dogs around. It would be nice to have a break a little more often. But I love the work I do, and I know the dogs enjoy it here. So I feel really fortunate that if I'm going to call myself retired, that this is what I'm doing with my time to earn a little money to help support the family. No whining. We don't need to whine. Thank you. So that takes up a lot of my day, and it's not that, I'm not like working the dogs, but I'm very almost helicopter parent when it comes to the animals. And so I like to know where everybody is and what they're doing. They are all good dogs. I mean, I think we're really lucky that we've got good dogs that spend time with us, because I don't know that I could tolerate it. I don't think I could keep my sanity if there were crazy dogs here. And every now and then it gets a little wild. I'm really proud of them for being so easy to deal with in spite of this weather. Because typically when the weather's good here, which is most of the time, at least the weather's good enough that they can spend a lot of time outside. But because I like to be with them, and one of the things we pride ourselves on offering our clients is that the dogs are never unsupervised. The most unsupervised they get is like this morning. So when I took a shower this morning, the dogs were just all out here in the house together. So obviously I can't really watch them or monitor them. They get along great, so it's not like there's something to worry about. But my point is just that that's really the only kind of situation where they're not monitored. So if they go outside, I'm at least standing on the back porch so that I can watch and listen, and or one of us is standing on the back porch so we can watch and listen. And I've really been proud that in spite of the fact that they cannot go out and just run themselves ragged like they do most of the year, they're all being so good. They seem to understand that it's just not good weather for getting out. So Cindy has a Terrier Chihuahua mix. Oh, and he's not feeling well. That's not good. So Gucci missed a couple of days with us this week because she was not feeling well. So I don't know what might be going around in the doggy world, but she's back to her regular self today. So I hope your baby is back to 100% soon. So that's kind of what I'm doing all the time. Another thing I'm doing, though, is that a lady in one of the neighborhood Facebook groups I'm in posted before Thanksgiving even, so probably back toward the end of September, that she was looking for any families that might be willing to share like leftovers, like leftover food. Like she would buy leftovers. Her husband is on a special diet, I think, for some health reasons. And then she's got a little baby, so the baby doesn't eat, you know, big people food yet. And she just threw it out there to see if anybody might be interested in letting her come pick up some leftovers every now and then, and let her know what it would cost. And my first thought was, if anyone knew how much food I throw out because Richard is such a picky eater, they would know how excited I was to see that. Because a lot of things I cook, it's because I like them, but he either won't eat it at all, or he might try some of it and then it just sits in the fridge. And I grew up in a big family, and then I had a lot of children, so I feel like everything I cook is for big groups. Holidays are always fun for me because I can cook all the stuff that I like to cook that's for big groups, and it's actually going to be eaten. Even if we don't finish it all at the holiday gathering, the kids know to bring their own Tupperware stuff, and then we just load up. We divvy up stuff for them to take home so that I don't have to throw away much food. And even now with this lady stopping by once a week to pick up 2 or 3 meals, I'm still throwing food away. It's the same as it was. And I'm wondering, how is that possible that someone else is even helping me eat this stuff and I'm still throwing it away? But I'm gradually making strides toward cutting waste and figuring out what to do as far as cooking. Some things just don't really lend themselves to only cook for one person or 2 people, though. Like, can you make a chicken pot pie for 1 person? Richard won't eat chicken pot pie anyway, though, so nix that. So there's just a lot of situations like that where it's just not easy to figure out how I could do whatever dish I want to do for just me. But I'll keep you updated on how that's going, and if I ever find the secret recipe, pun intended, for not having to throw away so much food, even though I have somebody that's helping eat it. Anyway, so that's been kind of a neat little friendship that's developed as a result of her posting that. And it does make me feel better that, you know, someone else out there will eat what I cook. Because the person who lives here with me doesn't always do it. Yeah, I love chicken pot pie. There's a lot of things I love that I don't even cook very often. Again, because I know I'm not going to want to eat it all. I don't like to eat the same thing over and over. I don't mind leftovers, but I don't want to eat the same thing 5 or 6 days in a row. I like different kinds of food too much, and I enjoy cooking different kinds of food. So I would love being able to cook something different more frequently. But again, it just means leftovers that don't get eaten. So there's part of what I'm doing, what I'm watching. So on the one hand, I like to say I don't watch a lot of TV, and we don't have cable, but I do stream stuff. So most recently, I've been watching, there's a reality show, and it's got some different iterations in different countries. I started with the U.S. version of a show called The Traitors, and it's a, reality competition thing where a group of people go and live in this big castle in Scotland. So it already sounds amazing, right? Alan Cummings is the host for the U.S. version of it. Again, that's the one I started with. It wasn't the first version. There was a UK version that started off the series. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Thanks for being here. So again, it's just I don't know that there's anything special about it. I think it's pretty clever. The people that are competing have challenges they have to complete as a group to earn money that goes into this prize pot. The American version of the show has a maximum of $250,000 that they can earn. So like they go, they have to build something together, and for each part of the thing that they build, they can add $5,000 to the prize pot, just to kind of simplify how it works. and they have challenges where I know maybe the first season they had to go into this house and look for some kind of items, I think it was. But in the house, there was rats and roaches, like live rats and roaches, and stuff would get dumped on them. So it's almost like the old Nickelodeon show, the slime and stuff. And they have to complete those tasks in that environment to be able to earn the money. Hey, John and Sarah, how are y'all? Good to see you too. Thanks for stopping in. If you missed my little Cassie, hey, how are you? If you missed my little short I did that I didn't think to do until like an hour and a half before today's broadcast, I came on absolutely just prepared to just do this and not have any viewers because I didn't give you guys a lot of lead time. I realize that. And I've been so inactive for so long now that I know a lot of people have just stopped stopping in to check on the channel. But for me, I just thought it's good to practice because I want to get back into doing regular YouTube stuff. I feel like I've pretty much mastered now the whole balancing act of having all the dogs here and still having some kind of a life. That remains to be seen if it's true or not, but I'm going to think positive. So I'm so excited to have anyone here at all, but to have more than one person here with me at all is, my day is made already. So thank you all that have stopped in, and I promise I'm going to be a little bit more consistent about showing up here on the channel. So back to more of what I'm doing, watching, reading, etc., etc. So I'm watching that Trader's Show. There's also, again, the UK version. I've already watched both seasons of that aired. It doesn't look like there was a third season, or if there was, it hasn't been made available on Peacock. I watched that on Peacock now. Again, we don't have cable, but we have various streaming services, and Peacock is amazing because there's lots of options there. It's an NBC, the NBC Peacock. So Peacock is an NBC app, and you can watch a lot of your favorite NBC shows. Yeah, John or Sarah, whoever that is, I know you guys are not far from me, and I am not digging this weather that we're having. I've been thinking about planting stuff already, and I know that, I'll feel a little better once the weather gets nicer, and I can get into doing some gardening stuff, but for now, I don't even want to go outside to check the mail. It's ridiculous. So back to what I was saying. So I'm watching that. I've kind of been on a kick lately also, just watching old movies. Now, sometimes it's the old, like, 50s B-film sci-fi things that I love. I just adore those movies. And other times it'll be a movie I've never heard of, but it's, like a 1960 thriller or mystery kind of a movie. Those are my go-tos, sci-fi and then mystery, thriller, horror from time to time. Some of them that combine a lot of those elements, and those are really fun. So I've kind of been on a kick doing that. As far as reading, I do have a book that I'm chipping away at. It's called Apaches. It's not about Indians, though. It's about a group of police officers, like retired police officers that do this one last thing to bring down a ring of bad guys. So I'm maybe a third into the book. I like it okay, but I sure don't feel like I have a whole lot of time, uninterrupted time, to sit and read, which is sad because I love reading. I got new glasses probably September last year, and I was so excited to have glasses that are the right prescription. It had been too long since I'd had my eyes examined to get new glasses, and so reading was really becoming unpleasant for me because I just could not see well enough with my old prescription. So I have been excited to be able to read again, but I haven't quite figured out the logistics of setting enough time aside that I know I'm not going to be as interrupted as I am every day. That's the one downfall to all the dogs here, is just there's a lot of interruptions, whether, it's that they need to go out or, and I don't wait for them to ask. Again, when the weather's nice, the back door just stays open. They go in and out as they like, and I just step out onto the porch and keep an eye on things. But when it's like this, I have to let them out. Now, if they ask to go out, then we'll go out. But I don't like to wait to ask them to go out, because the only way I think they don't go stir crazy is by having the day broken up by, frequent trips outside. One of the challenges there has been that we lost a duck to a coyote. That's probably been a couple of months ago now. A neighbor that lives just to the north of us texted me and said, "There's a coyote out at your pond watching your flock," because the flock was out on the pond. So of course I go out and I'm ready to just scare the coyote off, because they, even though they come close, they don't like for you to approach them. And if you go out waving your arms and hollering, they'll take off. But as soon as, and I mean, all I did was put my shoes on, stepped out the door, and as I was going out the back door, I could see on the other side of the fence, oh, Vicky, how are you? Oh, how wonderful to see you here today. Thank you for stopping in. I miss you. I love you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you finally sold your Florida property. We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk and catch up. Anyway, so I'm stepping out the back door, and I could see, through the chain link fence, that the coyote had grabbed one of my girls and was taken off with it. So I knew, at that point, there's nothing I can do. Even if I could have gotten her from him, I'm sure she was long gone by the time I saw what I saw. But I did go out to the back, and he, of course, was running off with her. And then I rounded up, I coaxed the flock in from off the pond with some corn and peas and stuff. And I've been a little bit hesitant to let them back out onto the back pasture because of that. And yet at the same time, a couple of things that go through my mind as it pertains to having outdoor animals and water birds in particular, is that they are meant to be out and on the water. They're not meant to be fenced in or locked up in a pen. And everybody's got to eat. For all I know, the coyote may have been a parent that was catching food to take back and feed babies. Everybody's got to eat. It's just nature. I can't control that. The girl that I lost, her name was Roquefort. She was in the second little batch of ducklings. We went up to a place in, where was it? Sanger, somewhere north of here. Because I saw an ad on like Craigslist or something, and I wanted to add some more ducklings to the flock. At that point, our flock was maybe 15 months old, and we weren't having any ducklings out of them yet. So I went up and got 4 little ducklings. We've now lost them all. 2 of them were lost to a bobcat a few summers back. Well, about like 5 summers ago now. And then 1, I think we lost in the freak, what did we call it? Snowmageddon, whatever, back in 2021. We had absolutely freakish weather here where, like one day it's 75 degrees and the next day it's -1. I mean, it was awful. And there was really not a lot of time to prepare for it. And so I actually lost one of the ducks. She froze in the pen, but she was near the door of the pen. That's when I started putting heat lamps in the pen, even though I really don't like to use them. I'm just rambling, I know, but... So, what was I saying? Oh, so the challenge now is that I've been letting the ducks into the backyard, which they like, and when it's just our dogs here, and even when it's Gucci, she does really well with the ducks too, then our dogs can go in and out, if the ducks are in the backyard and they don't mess with them. I don't have to worry. I still watch, but I'm not going to take that chance when we have more than one visiting dog or dogs that have not been here for so long, so often that I know I don't have to worry as much. So we've had lots of other visitors here, and it means, I have to go and round up all the ducks and put them in their yard and let the dogs out to burn off some energy and do their business. And then bring the dogs in and then go back and let the ducks back out. So my goal is to only do that until it gets warm enough that I feel like other food sources will be available to coyotes. Because, they're here. I hear them at night. I know they're around. And I mean, they have just as much right to be here as we do, and I know they have to eat. So we have on the property, we have rabbits and skunks and possums and raccoons and, all kinds of birds. And so wintertime, just not a good mix because there's not a lot of other wildlife out that's readily available for the hunters out there, the scavengers and hunters. But hopefully, once the weather gets nice enough and the wildlife starts showing itself again, I mean, I can't feel bad about what happens because that's how it was designed. Then I can let the ducks back out onto the pond. And they've been out on the pond a couple of the nicer days here in the last month or so. But for the most part, I'm just keeping a little bit closer so that I can protect them a little bit better. It's been, I'm sure, hard on them because I haven't even been letting them out of the pen until like 10:30 in the mornings lately. Usually, shortly after the sun comes up, they get to be out, and then they get pinned back up just before the sun goes down, just because they are prey animals. But it's been so cold and all the water outside is frozen, and so I'm just rehashing that. Anyway, so that's another part of what I've been doing, and I don't know where that came from because we were talking about what I'm reading. And so I'm reading that book called Apaches. I can't remember who the author is. It's an older book. I love to just go to, half-price books, places like that, and pick up something that has a nice looking cover. I like hardcover books. To me, those are more real. I have tons of books on my Kindle. I'd love to get enough time to make my way through more of the zombie Fallout series. I became a big fan of zombie fiction probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more. And there's a great series by Mark Tufo. There's like 25 books in the series now, and I don't even think I've started book 4 yet. So I got a lot of reading waiting for me there, but it's still not the same to read it on a Kindle as it is to actually have a book in your hands and smell the paper and all that. So that's what's going on with doing, watching, reading. I won't tell you everything I'm doing, watching, and reading because then next time we do a stream and this comes up, I want to have something to talk about. But there is a little bit about what's been going on with me and how I've kept myself busy in all this time that you guys haven't seen me. Where did my mouse go? Uh-oh. Where did my mouse go? Uh-oh. Oh, am I back? Okay, I don't know what I just did. I'm trying to get over here and hide this. Okay, so we're going to give this another spin. Let's see what comes up. Let me see what's going on in the chat. So Sydney, no avian flu in my area yet. I think the closest I have heard it being reported is like San Marcos. So that's still, that's probably 4 or 5 hours from here. And it's presented in some black vultures. Now, we have a trio of black vultures that spends summer and the first part of fall here every year. And they hang out with the ducks. They come into the duck yard and drink their water and, pick at whatever food might be left over. They've never bothered the ducks or geese, so I don't worry about that. But I am having to be a little more aware. There's a batch of wild ducks that comes to the fence morning and evening to be fed when I feed the flock because I've been feeding them. And I do, when they come running to the fence, I'm looking to see if anybody has a funky gait or any, pox like places on their faces and heads and stuff. And they all look nice and healthy too, but they stay here. So I think if it was gonna hit here, it would be because some other bird that came in from someplace besides here had it. My girls are still laying eggs, let me tell you. So I've been giving away duck eggs through this same Facebook group where I met the lady that comes by and picks up food every week. So I have lots of friends now that are excited that they have a source for some healthy, fresh, organic eggs. And I prefer duck eggs over chicken eggs anyway. So I'm keeping my eyes open and trying to keep up with the reports and the news and locations and stuff. I don't have a plan yet for what I will do if it hits here. I don't want to have to think about that yet, but I am as aware as I can be, and I'm just thankful every day that the flock is healthy, and the birds that I see around here that visit, we have a lot of songbirds, and I'm just happy that they're all healthy for right now. All right, so, did I spin? Did it come up the animals? Or is that where it was? I'm going to spin again because now I don't even remember what I was doing. I mean, that was kind of an animal-related thing. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we're going to get crime and punishment. So this, I thought I would talk about, some of you may know, I'm not going to call myself a true crime buff, but I've always been interested in true crime. And with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial a few years ago, which is where I met Peter Tragos. He was a guest on the show once upon a time. Oh my gosh, I haven't even checked his channel lately. Again, I don't have a lot of time to watch stuff, and I've been watching old movies and things. But that kind of got me hooked on like the court TV type stuff. And I think, back when court TV first came out, I was a big fan of that, and some of the A&E crime shows and stuff. I do like those kind of things. But I thought we could talk about, I haven't kept up with much that might be happening this year, but I thought I would share with you, let me see if I can find the, okay. We'll pull this up because a lot of these cases, I don't even know who these people are, but there she is. So Sarah Boone was the case that I followed from start to finish, and there were even discussions about it before it went to trial. There were so many delays. Peter did cover that case. And then I watched the trial. I watched every minute of the trial, a lot of the pre-trial motions and hearings and things as well, because it was just so horrific and bizarre to me. I've learned it's not the first, like, suitcase murder thing. There was another suitcase murder, I don't know how long ago. I think the lady's last name was McGuire. And I don't know the particulars about that, but I was intrigued to learn that it's not the first time that a the words suitcase and murder went together for a trial or a court case. But this one, my takeaways from this were multiple. First one being that drugs and alcohol, absolutely, just stay away from them. Just, if you never take that first drink, you can't become an alcoholic. If you never do that first drug, you can't become an addict. And I'm not saying, like, I'll have a beer every now and then. I love a glass of wine every now and then. We've got a blender here, and I learned how to make pina coladas in the last 6 months or so. And so I'll make a pina colada for us every now and then. So I'm not saying I have anything against those things in and of themselves, but I guess some people are just predisposed to not be able to handle it without it absolutely ruining lives, their own life and someone else's life. And so that was one of my big takeaways from that trial, is that alcohol had a lot to do with what happened and how it happened and why it happened. And hey, Mark, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. And so when you mix alcohol, again, the people that may be predisposed to have bigger issues than others. I'm not a psychologist. Maybe Vicky can chime in here. Sarah Boone, she got some emotional health problems for sure. I think I've heard enough to know that she, came from some circumstances. Her background was not healthy anyway, and so she gets involved with this guy that is equally maybe unhealthy, and neither one of them knows how to have a relationship anyway. And then they mix in the drinking and maybe whatever else they were doing, and there was not going to be any other end than what happened for them. So during the trial itself, I don't know why I'm surprised sometimes at certain personalities, but through all of the trial, in spite of the evidence, in spite of her admissions of guilt. Nothing was her fault. She didn't intend it. If I had a nickel for every time she said it wasn't intentional or something, along those lines, I'd be making more money than I'm making now. But she never, even now, I don't think, has not accepted that she should not have done what she did. Isn't that sad? Isn't that just sad and bizarre? And so every day I would watch this trial, and if she spoke, if she was being questioned or given testimony, I just would shake my head and think, how can anyone be either so delusional or mentally ill or just downright selfish and narcissistic and entitled? It was bizarre, y'all. It was crazy. Before the trial ever got started, which is why it was so delayed getting started, because she is an impossible person. Just impossible person. So she won't be getting out of jail anytime soon. I think she went to prison. She was convicted. But that's the case I kept up with all of last year. So, there was the Johnny Depp trial, and then there was what was his name? The Darrell. Some of you will know this also from Peter's channel. So let's see. Here's something. So Dr. Lund, this is Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund. Her comment here, Sarah probably has a few mental health personality disorders and the alcohol did not help. So again, my take was pretty close, that you mix those things together and I don't know that there's any way it would not have turned out like it did. How sad is that? But here's another comment from Cindy, back to some animals. If I remember correctly, you followed the eagle live stream. So sad about the 2 eaglets from Southwest Florida. Yeah, I guess I could have told you all about that. But I figure if we do get the animal thing, I can tell you about that. If not, we'll wrap up the show today and I'll tell you about that. Because, yes, that's my heart nest at Southwest Florida Eagle Cam. And it's been a tragic year again. After much celebrating and rejoicing. Isn't that how life goes, though? So there's one from this page in the crime and punishment category on the wheel today. I thought I would share with you that I kept up with the Sarah Boone trial. There were so many. Like, I didn't keep up with the Chad and Lori Daybell stuff. Equally unbelievable. Equally mind-boggling and head-shaking. And what is wrong with people? How can these things happen? And the Koberger. So there's this guy here down on the bottom right there. I don't think that has finished yet. I haven't kept up with it as much, but so there were several that obviously were in the news. I know a lot of people are familiar with them, and some of you probably watched more of the other trials than I did. So I don't think anything on this list was a name that I didn't recognize from, either seeing videos on Peter's channel. Not that I watched all of them, because I don't even know how he does it, but it was not possible for me to keep up with everything. But there are a couple of other crime channels that I watch. Hey, Joe, how are you? Good to see you. So a lot of I don't know this trial, this Christopher Greger trial. Or Robert Tellis. I don't know what that is. Carly Gregg, I'm familiar with that one. Anyway, so we won't talk any more about that one again, just in case we get a crime and punishment thing again on the wheel next time. We'll see now what comes up next on the wheel. I'm so tickled that you guys are here. Oh my gosh, how are you? Sheepdog on the Hill, how are you? Big K. Right. Oh, so here's the All About Animals. So, yes, I can share with you that, so, again, a lot of you know, I'm a huge Eagle fan. Eagle, like the birds. I was glad that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I didn't really watch the Super Bowl, and I don't watch football. I don't support football. But I knew I didn't want the Chiefs to win. I'm so over all the Travis Kelce. If I never hear anything about Taylor Swift again, it'll be a good day. But I was kind of glad the Eagles won just because I love eagles, like bald eagles in the wild. So M15 and his partner Harriet, who, when I very first started, or when I first learned about the nest, Harriet had another partner named Ozzy, but he passed away. M15 is who became her new partner. Honey, you got to get down. And, they raised a bunch of eaglets together. He was a very young eagle when they got together, so she had to teach him how to be a father, and he did an amazing job. When she disappeared, it'll be 3 years ago now, I guess. Golly, is that possible? 2 years ago. I guess it'll be 2 years ago. Oh, it just happened. So February 2nd was the last time she was seen. And there had been a lot of altercations at the nest. I guess it was Hurricane Ian had come in and destroyed a lot of nests. And so a lot of eagles from nearby territories were looking to take over nests that were already built, already established, and still standing. So there had been a lot of territory battles, and Harriet had been fighting eaglets. I mean, they both had been fighting eagles, and then she disappeared and was never seen again. It is Florida, lots of predation there. She was older. A lot of reports say that she was probably 30 something, which is amazing for any bald eagle in the wild. But lots of females came in and courted M15 and tried to win him over. When Harriet disappeared, she left behind 2 4-week-old eaglets in the nest that M15 then had to raise on his own. So he was having to care for himself, keep himself fed and bathed and protect the nest, from enemies and I don't know how to take that off now, and feed the babies and protect the babies. And he did it, and they both fledged. They both grew healthy, strong, and for all we know, they're still out there flying around and healthy eagles. And it was just amazing to watch that. But at the end of that season, there had been a couple of different females really trying to win him over and really trying to claim that nest and join him as a partner. And so it was, up in the air when the season ended. Who's he going to come back with? Is he even going to come back to this nest? It's not the male that chooses the partner, and it's not the male that chooses the nest. So everyone was thrilled to see M15 with his new partner that we call F23 because she's a female from the 2023 season that tried to win him over after Harriet disappeared. So they started working on a nest together, and long story short, they laid 2 eggs, and those eggs hatched, and the eaglets were about 6-7 weeks old, 42 and like 44 days old, and they were stricken with the highly pathogenic avian influenza that Cindy was just talking about. And they both died. So within just a matter of hours, they showed symptoms, and then they were gone. And that's how awful this virus is. There were 2 females at the Kisatchie National Forest nests that you can see on YouTube, died of that last year. And it's just, there's no cure for it. There's not a vaccination for it. The adults can sometimes survive a little more often because they're bigger and stronger, and they have some antibodies over time. But the babies are just, they don't have developed immune systems enough, and they're just more susceptible, like any baby, anything would be. So they both passed away. It's been about 3 weeks ago now, and everyone was on pins and needles watching to see if M15 or F23 were going to contract it as well. And there were some signs. I know F23 was seen on camera, the live streams, vomiting something up, which can be one of the signs. But the crow facility on Sanibel Island in Florida, which is the wildlife rehab center, had stated that, the incubation period can be a couple of weeks, and that if after a couple of weeks had gone by, F23 and M15 were okay, then it likely meant they either fought the virus off if they had it, or they didn't get it, or so they have been looking wonderful and healthy. They're active. They're working on their nest. It is still within the realm of possibility that they will lay another clutch of eggs. It has happened for eagles in the wild. But again, just what a roller coaster. Everyone was so excited to see that they laid eggs again this year, and we're going to have at least one eaglet for us, and the babies were doing so well, and they were getting along so beautifully, and it just, there's no guarantees. Nobody is guaranteed a tomorrow in the human world, in nature, the animal kingdom, and you just have to take the bad with the good and celebrate where there are moments to celebrate, and then learn what lessons you can learn from observing and educating yourself. So that was the all about animals. Make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. And if you've come in and I missed you, I'm so sorry. I hopefully can get back into a rhythm of live streaming and talking and keeping up with the chat, and give the stream a like if you will. I'd love it if you would share it also, so people know that I'm coming back to life here on the channel. Okay, so breaking news. Let's see. What do I have on my breaking news? No, that's not it. Oh, there's the weather thing I had pulled up for y'all, but it's from this morning. Oh, what time? It doesn't say what time. Oh, this was at 7:31 this morning. So I thought it was 22 degrees. It was 23 degrees when I got up this morning. But let's see what it says now. Okay, 33. And then we're kind of going to get back to spring type weather here. Tomorrow, a high of 50. Sunday, a high of 63. Then we're in the 70s, which is more typical for us. Okay, so I can close that little window now. Okay, I think this is probably the thing I pulled up. Oh, no, here we go. From Associated Press, it was hard to decide what source I would use for breaking news because there's so much of a slant on everything wherever you go. And I don't know that I even know for sure where to go to just get facts, like true information that's not so slanted. But just because AP's been around forever and it came up when I did a search for breaking news, I thought this is what we'll use. So let's see what we can find that might not be so biased. Okay, here's some. Breaking news. It said 21 minutes ago, but I think that's from back when I loaded this tab onto the browser screen. Jerry Iceman Butler, soul singer whose hits included Only the Strong Survive, dies at 85. I don't know that name. I don't know a lot about soul music or soul music singers. I mean, I know some singers that, crossed over into other genres maybe would be more familiar with me. But it says Jerry Butler, a premier soul singer of the 1960s and after, whose rich, intimate baritone graced such hits as For Your Precious Love, Only the Strong Survive, and Make It Easy on Yourself, has died at age 85. So that's considered breaking news. This story was from today, updated at 2:40 p.m. But again, I was loading all these windows like at 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning. Let's go back and see if there's another breaking news story. When I saw this headline, Arrest Made in Theft of Luxury Cars from Miami, it made me think of that Corvette story. Let's see. Okay, here's something. This is interesting. Condemned South Carolina killer chooses to be executed by firing squad. Who knew that was still an option? Who knew that the criminals could pick how they want to be executed? Let's see, what did he do? South Carolina inmate Brad Sigmund has chosen to die next month by a firing squad, a method of execution that has not been used in the U.S. in 15 years. Sigmund is scheduled to die on March 7th. On Friday, he became the first South Carolina inmate to choose the state's new firing squad over lethal injection or the electric chair. Only 3 inmates in the U.S. have been executed by firing squad since 1976. All were in Utah, with the last one taking place in 2010. He'll still be strapped to a chair and have a hood placed over his head and a target placed over his heart in the death chamber. 3 volunteers will fire at him through a small opening about 15 feet away. I'm looking to see what he was convicted of. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what he did. Oh, let's see. Sigmund didn't pick the electric chair because it would burn and cook him alive, his attorney Gerald Bow King wrote in a statement. The alternative is just as monstrous. If he chose lethal injection, he risked the prolonged death suffered by all 3 of the men South Carolina has executed since September. I'm looking to see, anybody know what this guy did? I mean, I'm guessing if you get the death penalty, you probably killed someone. Oh, okay. Was convicted in the 2001 baseball bat killings of his ex-girlfriend's parents at their home in Greenville County. Wow. Okay, that was on the breaking news category. I'll save that page too. And close it. And we'll go back to our wheel. Let's hide that. Obviously, if I get animals again, I gotta hide it. I hope you guys are having fun. I'm so excited to be doing a live stream and having people hang out with me on a Friday again. I'm so excited about that. Rants and raves. Okay, so this one, there's not a web page for that. Although I did... Where did I put it? I have a, definition of rant. Definition of rant and rave. Okay, a rant. How do I get that right there? I want that right there. Okay, rant. Speak or shout at length in a wild, impassioned way. And that's if you're ranting, to rant. Or a rant is a spell of ranting, a tirade. So rant, I thought this might be kind of fun. The first thing that comes to mind for me, obviously about ranting, is this weather. But there's nothing I can do about that. So another thing I kind of want to rant about. I'm on a Facebook group where veterinarians answer people's questions. And sometimes people come on and it's just something basic like, is it okay for my dog to lick my plate after dinner, whatever, just something basic. But my rant comes from people who go on this page and describe horrific things. So my dog was just hit by a car, his back leg is dangling, but he just took some treats from me, so I don't know if I need to take him to the vet or not. My female dog, who's, 9 years old and she's never been spayed, smells terrible and she's got stuff coming out from where, and she doesn't want to eat. Should I take her to the vet? So I'm going to rant about that. Now, I know all of us go through times where, money is tight, or the car's not running, or we're sick, or someone in the family is sick, and the priorities have to shift a little bit. But I find myself a lot of times on this particular page, this Facebook page, wondering, A, is this even a legit thing? Are these people so hungry to get attention or see themselves, see their name on the page or whatever, that they're just posting this when they know what the answer is? And I'm not exaggerating. There are people that will, and they'll post pictures even. The dog is all shredded up and it's been run over and dragged behind a car, and they don't know if they should go to the vet or just watch them. And so I love it when the vets will say something like, what if this was your human child? What would you do? And I don't know how the vets keep their cool. I don't know how they don't go off on posters more often than they do. The other part of that rant, aside from just the people that come on that I really wonder if they should have pets or children at all, is the people then. So this is a free thing, all right? These are trained professional veterinary workers, doctors, vet techs, surgical techs that donate their time and experience and expertise to answer questions and offer guidance and encouragement and instructions to people. And it's an everyday thing that someone will come in and like we'll use my dog will be 9 years old and she's got this awful stuff coming out of her and it smells bad and she won't eat and she's acting really sick, and the doctors will tell them, hey, she needs to go to the vet. She may have pyometra, which is a uterine infection that will kill a dog. It's that black and white. So you need to get her spayed. And then the people will come in and they'll be rude and disrespectful. I didn't come in here so you could tell me that I need to get my dog spayed. I came in here to ask you if I need to take her to the vet. Thinking, what is going on here? So a lot of those people get kicked out of the group because and it won't just be the one comment. They just go on and on and on. And the vets try to be thorough. So when someone comes in and all they say is, my dog is really whining and he won't eat. Okay, so then the vets say, well, tell me about your dog. How old is he? Is he on medicine? When did this start? How long has it been happening? And then the person gets all bent out of shape because I didn't come in here to have to tell you all this other stuff about my dog. I told you he's whining and he won't eat. I need to know what's wrong with him and what I should do. So there's my rant. Okay, there's my rant. But the other part of that is raves. So let's do the rave. A rave, the verb to rave, to talk wildly or incoherently as if one were delirious or insane. Or a rave, like the opposite of a rant, to speak or write about someone or something with great enthusiasm or admiration. So obviously I think those two have to go together because it can be so easy to get caught up on the rants of life and forget about the rave-worthy stuff. So what is my rave going to be? So I think my rave will be, this is interesting that I'm going to say this, the dogs. I just want to rave again about the dogs. So have you guys noticed there was that little bit of energy right at the beginning of the stream where they seem to be wanting attention, like they realize, oh, she's on camera. This is our time to get some screen time. But now look, they're just laying around. They're being good. Nobody's picking on anybody. Nobody's making any noise. They're not getting into anything. I hope I don't discover that they're not getting into anything. So I just want to rave about them again because particularly with the weather being so ridiculous these last few days, there are a lot of dogs that could be, finding themselves living outside at this point with a lot of people that either don't have the patience for it or just literally can't handle the destruction that some dogs can cause when they're not exercised enough. Their brains and their bodies don't get enough exercise. And again, if you don't know about German Shepherd dogs, they have to have activity. So when we are stuck inside, I have puzzle toys, and I'm thrilled to report, here's another rave, that all of the dogs, I think other dogs will see my dogs liking something, and even if that dog wouldn't like it otherwise, then they want it and they like it because they can tell my dogs are excited about it. My dogs love for me to fill the little chambers of their puzzle toys with frozen mixed vegetables. The same frozen mixed vegetables that I feed to the flock every day. Just put a little sprinkle of that in all those little sections, and they just go to town opening all the little doors and sliding things open to get in there and eat that stuff. Like they line up when I feed Yancey in the mornings, because Yancey every morning gets green beans and lettuce and zucchini and stuff like that. They will stand when they see me going to the refrigerator to get the vegetables out of the refrigerator. Then they stand because they want some too. Now they don't eat lettuce. But they like the carrots. They like the green beans. If she's getting blueberries, something like that, every now and then they're in the mood for blueberries. But I just want to rave on the dogs, and I can't believe I'm saying that again because I've just been so busy with the dogs, and there have been days that I don't even feel like I can go to the bathroom because, They're all over me for one thing, which, yeah, I don't even know the last time I closed a door to do anything. And yet I try to remind myself they must like being around me, right? Or they wouldn't follow me everywhere like that. But it also can sometimes mean they're underfoot when I'm in the kitchen doing all this cooking that the lady from my neighborhood group is helping me eat. But I just want to rave because they've been so good. They've been so good. They love if I put a fire in the fireplace. They'll all just find a little spot to lay down in front of the fire in the fireplace. And it's like they know, oh, okay, this is just a relaxing day. This is a chill day because Mom's got a fire in the fireplace. So I'll rave about the dogs, and that will maybe balance out the rant about the questionable dog guardians that post on that vet page on Facebook. Okay, let's close this. Let's go back to the wheel. Oh, where's the wheel? There it is. Okay, we're going to hide that. We'll spin it again. We've got a couple more things before I wrap it up today. Strange but true. I think that's the first thing I pulled up. Is this it? Yes. Strange but true. This is just the first story that I found from the New York Post, dated November 14th of 2022. Headline, I'm lucky to be alive after sustaining car crash injuries tripping over my cat. If any of you have cats, have had cats, know people that have cats, you know that is a real danger because they don't always care where you are in relation to where they want to go. And so it is a common issue to have to be really careful where you step and which direction you go when you get up from someplace, because a lot of them just really have a knack for putting themselves in exactly the wrong place so that you have to do gymnastics and things to avoid this story happening to you. So this guy says he suffered there's a little pun for you, catastrophic injuries. A UK man miraculously survived after sustaining a broken neck, fractured spine, smashed ribs, blood in his lungs, and other car crash evoking injuries from, wait for it, tripping over his cat. I can't remember much, just falling fast. It was quick and it was over within seconds. Then I was at the bottom. Victim Chris Rowley, 59, told the Mirror. The freak apocalypse meow, there's another pun for you, accident reportedly occurred on the evening of October 23rd while the Leicestershire, did I say that right? I got to look that up. Based professional musician was home alone with his hairless Egyptian Sphinx kitten, Eric Murakami. There's a picture of him, of the cat somewhere. There's the cat. There's the cat right there. There's the culprit right there. Disaster struck after the wrinkly kitty, apparently feeling playful, dove out and latched onto one of its owner's legs while he was coming down the stairs. It took a bit of a chunk out of my leg, then I lost my footing, described Rowley, who reportedly tumbled down 14 steps before arriving at the bottom, where he lay unable to move when his feline put the hell in Hello Kitty. So I'm happy to report that I have never been that injured by a cat. At any given time, I might have some scratches from somebody jumping across me or, just innocent things like that. The massively injured man didn't realize the extent of his injuries at the time. However, paramedics later revealed that he'd suffered fractured skull, a broken bone in the neck, 2 fractures in the spine, 9 broken ribs, and each rib has multiple fractures, and then I had a bit of blood in the lungs. So I will say, in regard to this story, we don't have stairs in our house. I mean, there's some steps to get up to the front porch and, a couple steps to get down onto the back porch, but the cats aren't outside. So obviously that would add a layer of danger to the mix if you've got stairs and you are near a cat around some stairs, because it sounds like that's probably the bigger contributing factor to this man's injuries, is that he fell down the stairs. Not that the cat, hurt him that much, or this just tripping over the cat on a flat surface with no stairs. It wouldn't have caused that. But there's the strange but true story for our strange but true category. I'll save this page too. And then we'll close that. Let's see. I think we'll close it, yes. Let's find my wheel again. So all we have left is celebrity gossip, even though, I didn't hide it. Come on. So if it goes to all about animals, we'll have to. Oh, look, it's actually going to cooperate with me. So celebrity gossip. I don't usually keep up with celebrity gossip, but again, just because I'm trying out some new things and wanted to be able to have something to talk about for a whole live stream, I thought I would. Okay, I can probably close that wheel now. And then let me find. Here we go. This is it right here. No, I don't need. Okay. I got to sign in to be able to see it. And this is just the first thing that comes up. This is from page6.com, and it's just the first website that came up when I did a search for celebrity gossip. Rock and roll. I don't know where that Justin Bieber article just went that was up there. Tattooed rock and roll fan 38 confirms she's the mother of Dave Grohl's secret love child. There's some celebrity gossip for you. In September 2024, the Foo Fighters frontman revealed that he welcomed a child outside his marriage to wife Jordan Bloom. Oh, there's some Justin Bieber stuff. The Road founder isn't sure how to manage things at this point as Justin left his fans frantic with worry. I don't know what's going on with him. I know he's been in the news a lot, and if I remember, one of the last things I heard about him is he has some sort of facial nerve problem. Is that right? But you just have to wonder, right? Don't you have to wonder? I don't know what kind of toll it would take on people to be famous. To be where, everybody watches everything you do. I personally feel like it's just something they have to accept. It comes with the territory. If you're gonna make yourself into something that people want to see and want to pay to see, I don't know how you can draw the line or have a cutoff. If you got fans, you got fans, and I mean, the word fanatic has fan in it, so I'm sure some people just really overdo it, wanting to know what's going on with people. But this just looks like, if you're into celebrity gossip, this does look like a fun page. It looks like it covers lots of things here. Oh, there it was. This was the article that was up when I first went to this page. Justin Bieber's concerning behavior at Hailey's skincare event leaves fans frantic with worry. So, all the best to you, Justin. And then this Hailey girl, right? I think she is Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger's daughter. Is that right? Anybody know? There's just a little extra tidbit for you. Okay, so I didn't save this one yet. I'll save this page. We'll close this page. We'll save this page. Oh, and then this, so we won't do this today, but I signed up for this AARP thing because there are games. And so I thought at some point we could play a game. So this one that I had pulled up is some kind of a trivia game. Oh, no, there it is right there. Right Again Trivia. So we'll plan on trying out one of these games on next week's stream. Hey, no, we don't do that. She's biting on my sweater. Look, it's like they know we must be getting near the end of the stream. Bear, hang on, honeys. Just hang on. And it's probably time for them to go out. This is why we go in and out. This is why I don't let them sit for very long at a time. But I thought Richard might be home already and he could let them out. So, all right, we're going to save that. And we'll plan on doing that at some point next week. I do plan to be back next week also, 2 o'clock. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Mark it on your calendars. I've still got my same list of video ideas that I've had, forever. Let's see. Let's move this up and fill the screen again. It was kind of fun to have a reason to get up, take a shower, put some makeup on today. Not something I feel like I do a whole lot anymore. Okay, I'm going to close these other windows. So now I've learned some things that I needed to know so I can be ready for the next stream. And I might bite the bullet and, pay for the StreamYard thing again because it's just so easy. It's so easy to use. I know there's a lot of things I could probably do with OBS Studio that would make it just as fun, but the older I get, the less fun it is to have to learn something new. So, I don't know about that. But not a whole lot else going on, I don't think. We as far as boarding, again, that's still going beautifully. We're booked solid. Kobe will be back for a couple of weeks around spring break time, and we'll also have a couple of repeat boarders here for part of that time, like 4 days out of the spring break week that corresponds with the school district here. And then Gucci's here. Again, she's here, 4 or 5 days a week a lot of times, so she'll be here. But I think that'll be a nice combination of dogs, just knowing their personalities and their temperaments. And spring break is just a super busy time for us, so I expect it. And then we're already booking into the summer. We've already had questions about Thanksgiving, but I'm holding off on booking that far out because I'd love to think that maybe we can find a way that we might be able to make a trip someplace later this year. It's been a long time. Last time we went on a trip anywhere was 2019. So either both of us, or I have traveled alone several times. I don't mind doing that. So if it's not something that Richard's interested in doing, maybe I'll plan a trip someplace for myself. So maybe you'll see me go live from some destination place. We'll see. I've never been on a cruise. I know there is a YouTube cruise happening sometime this year that, I would love to have made plans for that and saved up for that and signed up for that, but it's just impossible for me, A, to plan too far ahead, and B, to be away from home. My full-time job really is here at home. So I'm going to try to make the best of that and get back to YouTubing. I do miss it, but it became something that in the middle of being so ridiculously busy with the boarding business, it just felt like more work to do. And I thought, okay, that's when it's time to step back. If it starts feeling like work and there's more of a, oh my gosh, I need to do this, than there is a, oh boy, I get to do this, then I need to reassess. But, oh, Richard must be home because the dogs are all collecting around the door. Hang on. Sorry about that. I had the screen locked from when I went out to get Kobe and Gucci when they arrived this morning. I had the screen door locked, so he couldn't get to the door to get in. Okay, nobody got out. That's always the goal, is just to keep everybody contained. So I'll be back next Friday, 2:00. If you have a topic you want to talk about, post it. I'll put a post up on my community tab if there's something you want me to look up, and we can talk about it next week. I'm always open to suggestions. But I was saying, I always have my same list that I've had forever of video ideas. I just need to plan and schedule and make it happen so that I can have new content up for you guys a little more frequently. And I think that does it for today. So thank you for being patient. Oh, that's funny. I just realized when I got up, y'all can see I have on my nice shirt, right, and my sweater, and then I'm just in my flannel pants because it's cold, and I figure, oh, nobody will even see what pants I'm wearing. I had some jeans out to put on, and then I thought, nobody will see what pants I'm wearing. I'm just going to leave my flannel pants on. So that's what happens behind the scenes. There's the part you can't see when you're watching somebody on YouTube. But thanks again for all of you who stopped by. Please give the stream a like. Let me know what you want to talk about for the future. And I will see you all very soon. It was absolutely amazing to see some names that I have not seen in a long time just because I've been away. And that's just made my day. So I love you all. Stay warm. And I hope you're happy and well. Whatever's going on with you, I hope it's all good. And we'll be back to spin the wheel again next week and maybe play a game from that AARP website. put that little membership to good use. But love to all. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I am signing off for this return of live streaming. Bye, friends.